Broads Media.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Broads. So the Phillies get walked off in Arizona. Now the series is 2-1. I'm not panicking whatsoever. It took the Diamondbacks 73,692 chances to win this ball game, and it's annoying because you only score one run, and that happens to be on a wild pitch. You had 3 hits total, and I'll give a lot of credit to the kid. He pitched very well. He was so good. You know you're in your bag when the entire city of Philadelphia collectively thanks the other team's manager when he goes out and grabs them. You're like, oh man, thank the Lord, we're gifted one here because he was shoving. He put on a hell of a display. Ranger Suarez also matched that, and then Hoffman helped out. Alvarado helped out. The defense was insane. For Ranger Suarez and Bryson Stott to connect in the 6th inning to get Carroll out at first base, what the hell? That was so nuts. And now Hoffman gets out of a jam when a man is on third base. They made some spectacular defensive plays, but your offense wasn't picking up their end of the bargain. You know, in the 9th, I really did think that they were going to squeeze by and force extra innings when they get Gurriel out at home plate. Trey Turner makes the throw to JT. The initial tag, did the jersey move a little? It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant because he tags him afterwards after the slide past home plate. I'm like, damn, they're really going to do this. Now, Craig had to deal with some adversity. The blue behind the plate sucked. He absolutely sucked. But guess what? Arizona dealt with it too because Alec Bohm gets super lucky in the 9th inning. First off, he doesn't even swing at any of the first 2 pitches, so he falls down 0-2. I'll give him credit. He worked a decent at-bat after that. He probably should have struck out on that 2-2 pitch. Now it's a full count, and then you let the one go on the inside part of the plate. Dude, you gotta swing, man. You gotta look to drive the baseball, dude. You're killing us right now at the plate. The weird part about this all, when they actually did score the 1 run, part of the reason why is Bryce Harper gets a walk, and then boom, he's been squaring up the ball in some other games before tonight. He gets a dinky single to third base on a dribbler. He's had better at-bats and better square-ups and barreled some up in this series that resulted in not getting on base, and the weird part is that's the one that actually got it in and going, but Bryson Stott grounds out into a double play, and you probably should have scored way more runs in that inning, but instead you get the 1. And their offense did not come today to play, and, you know, look, there's a bullpen game tomorrow. What I'm not going to do now is say, oh, the momentum is in Arizona's favor. Oh, yeah, you did that against the Braves last series, too. You said the same exact damn thing. The Phillies are by far more superior. They are by far a better baseball team. I want to see the Diamondbacks bullpen hold the Phillies to 3 hits and have 1 run due to a wild pitch. And you could say, well, Broads, hold on a second. Go look at the kid's ERA. Go look at what he does every single outing. There's no way you would have saw that many strikeouts, and there's no way you would have saw some of the plate discipline from the Phils, whether they're chasing high like Nick Castellanos or Bryson Stott swinging out of his shoes as soon as the ball leaves the fingertips. It's in the dirt and it's inside and low. Why is he reaching like that? Why is he reaching in regards to, you know, just going full out and saying, I'm committing to this pitch no matter what? And it was a reach in that at bat. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Why? Look, I know I didn't anticipate that either. But what are the odds that the Diamondbacks can do that game in, game out, and secure a series win by duplicating that winning method? They barely won this game. They should have killed the Phillies. They barely won. Rojas out at center field. He makes one great grab, and then the next play, the ball's at deep center, and he runs into the wall, and the ball hits the wall right next to him. I don't know what to tell you. They had base runners all over the place, but here's the Phils getting a double play with Alvarado up. I don't know how. They limited just to 1 run. The lead lasted about 6 minutes because I tweeted out full caps when Bryce Harper scored, "Woo! Then 6 minutes later, I had to retweet it, unfortunately with the quote tweet saying, well, that lasted about 6 minutes. I've done some things in my life about 6 minutes long, and, it feels like a long time when you last that long. In other situations like this, maybe not the case. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man, as long as she grabs the sheets, though. Man, Bohm in the ninth really pissed me off. At least I know that Christopher Sanchez is going in Game 4. I feel a lot better that he's pitching compared to a Taijuan Walker, who's got a 38 ERA in the first inning. No way this offense sleepwalks against the damn bullpen in Arizona. I'm telling you. It's okay. It's all right. This stuff happens. This is the NLCS. You won't be winning 10-0 every single night. It won't be a rout. Yeah, you could have strangled them to death. Let's be honest. A 3-0 series lead with the bullpen game coming up in Game 4 is an automatic, you're screwed. It's inevitable. It's not about if, it's about when. Now what, you think the Diamondbacks have enough mental fortitude? Because this is what they would have had to do. Keep in mind, I'm saying for all the ones that are nervous, I'm here to walk you off the ledge. I want to remove you from the cliff. There's no reason to jump, I'm telling you. You win the first 2 at home. Now you're going on the road. For them to win, they had to take 4 out of 5 games, with 2 of those being in Philadelphia. I think this goes 5, okay? I don't think this comes back to Philadelphia. But what are the odds that this team, this Diamondbacks team, can do that? I'll give you the answer. 0. We know this team thrives when they get punched in the face. That is their motto. That's how they live their lives. What just happened? They pissed the bed. They wet themselves offensively. I'm sure deep down, whether I give them praise or not, whether I'm the one giving the kid a lot of credit on the mound or not, they don't see it that way. They look at it as, man, what are we doing? Man, that was awful. We'll get him tomorrow. I'm losing sleep tonight. But when I walk into that ballpark, when I see that field and I'm on that diamond tomorrow at 8 o'clock, oh, man, they're done. They're toast. I'm going to fuck them up. That's how they approach it. So that's what they're going to do. That's been their mental makeup forever now. I look at this game and I describe it a game that really shouldn't have even been as close as it was. There was seriously a point in the ninth when Craig Kimbrell had the ball, and I said, if they somehow manage, it was after Trey Turner gets the out at home. I said, if they manage to squeak out of this one and seriously have a chance to bat in the 10th inning, dude, I don't even know what to say anymore. This Diamondbacks team sucks, if that's the case. They suck. There's no way it should have even been where it was. Were the Phillies trying to do too much? Trying to crank home runs left and right? I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure there were some swings that screamed, I want a bomb. And it didn't look like the ball was carrying that much. There were a few off the bat. I'm like, hey, that's got a chance. It's a right center field. Oh my God, it didn't even reach the warning track. You know? Marte put a couple good bat on ball there. I thought one of his was going to carry. He got to second base a bunch, which was annoying, but that happened. Ranger was electric going toe-to-toe. He had some gnarly stuff, man. Both of them. It's just one of those days where it is a pitching duel through the first 5 innings. What makes a team special during a run is finding ways to win in multiple different ways. And the way that this game was going was greasy. The way I was describing it was almost like you were in a fist fight in a telephone booth. And unfortunately, on this given night, it didn't pan out. But I think more times than not, when you are in that fist fight in a telephone booth, I'll rock with my guys that are wearing the red pinstripes. Rob Thompson's getting a lot of blame for going to Kerkeren when he did, and there were a couple hits in a row there. One went by Alec Bohm on the third base side. One was a blooper to right field. There were 3, scored a run. I got no problem with going with Kerkeren. I got no problem. He has shown to this point he's got nasty stuff. Now, maybe that I have this information now, I'm less willing to look in his direction. I needed that to have an understanding on where he is. And maybe now's not the time. You're up 2-0. You're in a game where you can make the argument that it makes sense to go to him. And for everyone saying, well, it shows you what Sir Anthony Dominguez is. It shows you that Rob has no faith in Sir Anthony. That's not true. If anything, Rob Thompson trusts everybody. I don't think for 1 second it's a lack of trust in Sir Anthony or any other arm. Think about when he went to Hoffman. Hoffman, not too long ago in this playoff, screwed up. Didn't have it. He just went to Hoffman again today. So look, I'm the one saying that maybe I reevaluate the next time that Kerkeren is an option, but Rob is known to put a ton of faith in all of his guys. This isn't about Sir Anthony. What I think it was more about Kerkeren. He's deserved this. He's done so well. He's been electric. He's been fantastic. He's got nasty stuff. I'm calling his name. Just sucks that it happened the way that it did. And then, of course, Jose Alvarado. The 8th, dicey. Got squared up a bit. But before that, how they pulled some of that off, I have no idea. And in regards to Craig Kimbrell, he always makes us sweat it out. Craig wasn't great. This isn't on Craig Kimbrell. This isn't on Craig Kimbrell. I'm not blaming the bullpen or Rob in this game. I think this is a strictly offense blame. They had 3 hits and scored 1 run. You're going to demand your pitching staff to win a baseball game when your offense only got 1 run, and that 1 run happened to be a wild pitch? I don't know. I look in a lot of other different directions. Now, that doesn't mean that Craig Kimbrell is smooth, because we all know that that's not the case. Every time he has the ball, yes, we are working through it. We are riding the highs and we are riding the lows. It is sometimes really upsetting. He also has a lot of saves, okay? He's got a lot of saves. I knew that eventually him not holding runners on in the playoffs would be a thing. We saw them willing to take off. Ay. Friday night baseball, though, 8 o'clock will be outstanding because the Phillies are going to take a 3-1 lead. And what you should do is pound the Phillies money line for Friday night. I'm telling you right now, they have a bullpen game going. We're looking at Christopher Sanchez, and then we'll patch the game together after that with your pen that's been on the money. And speaking of money, when your money's on the line, choose a trusted sports book that gives you tools to win, like MyBookie. You have daily odds boost, same game parlays, and you can take advantage of huge prize pool contests. Try the MyBookie money bag to grab a potential Super Bowl frontrunner at long shot odds. I'm talking plus 38,000 on Eagles and Chiefs. You won't find odds like that anywhere else. So you can bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie. You use promo code BRODES on your first deposit, and you will receive up to $200 in cash. That's promo code BRODES to claim your cash bonus right now. The link is down below in the description. Hit the link, sign up, get your deposit bonus, join the MyBookie family. We have a lot of fun over there together on Twitter at Broads81. I like to incorporate my bets each night. We've been on a really hot run. I don't anticipate that cooling off anytime soon, and we will take advantage of some of the player props for your Phils, some home run hitters. That home run power will be back. You won't keep this offense out and cold. I'm telling you, they're too majestic. they're too beautiful, and eventually Kyle Schwarber is going to smoke another one that goes 480 feet, all right? Now, Nick Castellanos will get a hold of one that will do the same to the poolside, though, and it'll go left field and crushed. Bryce Harper will have a special moment where he puts one in the gap and gets an RBI double. I wonder, is Rob going to consider moving Alec Bohm? I don't think he will. Why? Because he believes in his guys. But, man, Alec Bohm is having a rough go at it. Another excellent defensive play in the early frame for him. And he showed that, a billion times this playoffs? Pretty remarkable. That bat, though, part of the reason why this team has scored as much as they have, and part of the reason why they've been a juggernaut, is because he's produced. Is because he's knocked in runs. Is because he moved up this year with the power and hit 20 bombs. What I can't be doing is having him hold the bat on his shoulder and watching pitches go right by him. I don't get it. And when Bryson Stott grounded out into the double play, I thought the 2-0 pitch that made it 2-1 was the one to let it fly. Instead, he waits, he gets a different pitch, and then he puts it over to shortstop for the easy double play and moves Bryce to third, and you did score. But, man, you could have absolutely hit them harder if that run produced 3 runs. And any sort of life in that building just goes poof. Even though there were a lot of Phillies fans. How about the clip of the mascot who was screaming at the blue behind the plate on one of the bad pitches? I think that was the Alec Bohm at bat. You can't blame the ump for the Craig Kimbrell inning when you had to deal with the same exact thing on the other side. I mean, that was on both sides of the plate. He was one of the worst called umps, one of the worst umps calling a game I've ever seen in my life. And that's saying a lot because I watch Angel Hernandez and I watch C.B. Buckner way too often. That was atrocious. Okay, we'll go to the phones.
Hey, Craig Kimbrell, I'm sorry, I'm loaded. You fucking suck. I called in the second inning before a couple of drinks, and I said we're going to lose this game because we are too cocky.
Whoa. In the second inning of this baseball game, you said the Phillies are too cocky. They're losing this baseball game. With all due respect, I think they just lost the game. I don't think you saw something in the second inning that told you the rest of the way they're done. They're not winning this game. They're too cocky. I don't think they were cocky. This was a battle. This was a 2-1 game where both teams were scrapping away. In some regards, it was entertaining because it's very thought-provoking. What? Does that make sense? But it's a game where it's a chess match and you're thinking about, okay, they went to their bullpen, and when you go to Hoffman and Alvarado and Kimbrell and Ranger and this, and you're thinking, and they got base runners, and what do you do with the infield, and where are the outfield right now if you do have a sac fly and you have to try and get him out at home? From a thinking game-wise, I thought it was extremely entertaining, but it was a muck-it-up style baseball game from both teams. I don't think this was a cocky game by the Phillies. I think this is just a game where the identity of the 9 innings was whoever wins this game will have to scrap just a tiny bit more. That's why you have to tiny bit more scrap. Who's got the scrap? Tonight, the scrap went to Arizona. But I'll let you continue.
We're too fucking cocky. And now you gave the Diamondbacks life. You better hope we win next week or next time out, because if we don't, it's 2-2 going back to Philly.
All right, we're going to stop it there because, no, there's 3 games in Arizona, and then games 6 and 7 would be in Philadelphia. So it is not the same as other sports, and it is a different format. I don't see this as the other team fully has a grasp on the series. The Phillies are up 2-1. We do this every series, it seems. We did the same thing with the Atlanta Braves. You let them back in it. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. What does this team do well? This team, whenever something goes wrong, they laugh about it. They laugh about it because they go to the ballpark the following day and they explode. They use that, I'm sure, as motivation and they're all angry with each other because they know they probably should have won, even though they shouldn't have won. They should have found a way to win in a muck-it-up game. They didn't. They come to the ballpark the following day, and they destroy the opponent. That's what they do. This team, okay, over 7 games, and I don't expect it to go that far, but if I'm just looking solely at these two teams, the Phillies are so much better. So much better. And right now, both teams are dealing with interesting pitching decisions. If, and I don't expect it to, if it does happen to roll over and we're dealing with the Wheeler again, and we're dealing with the Nola again, and we're dealing with your top echelon guys again in a more intense late game in this series, which I don't expect, but I'm just saying, if it does get to that point, I guess Wheeler, a different story, because you know Game 5 at this rate is happening. I'll take my chances with those dogs. Did you see what this offense did to their top dogs? I'm just saying over 7 games. Breathe. This team is by far significantly better in every area of the game. Every area of the game. They got better starting pitching. They got way better bullpen. Their defense has been spectacular, although once in a blue moon there's been an iffy thing here and there. But they've made some really awesome plays defensively. Their power is gross. They're so much better everywhere. That's all. That's my point.
Dude, I called about this earlier, and you made a video on it. Listen, here's the thing. Kimbrell cannot close. We cannot have him. He didn't close, but he was in a extremely important situation, a high leverage situation, and he could not do it. He got bullshit outs. He can't do anything. Yeah, the ump did have a couple questionable calls, but he couldn't throw a strike when we needed it. Kimbrell folds like a limp dick every time that we need him to be good, and he doesn't. We need Alvarado to close, period. Any high-level situation, Alvarado is our guy. Kimbrell cannot do it anymore.
I disagree completely, and while I have more faith in Alvarado for sure, okay, fine. You want to go to Alvarado to close games? Fine. Seriously, fine. I actually think that there's logic in that. How you getting there? How you getting there? How do you get to the 9th then? Who you going in the 8th? You might say other names right now. Fine. At some point, Craig Kimbrell needs to be used. Sir Anthony's not an automatic. Hoffman's not an automatic. Strom's not an automatic. Soto's not an automatic. Kerkering's not an automatic. Well, then Craig's going in the 8th. And he is a closer. I mean, you did get to this position with Craig Kimbrell being your closer all throughout. To say he can't ever do it, he can never get the outs, he can never do this, never do that, that's wrong. It's factually incorrect. It's not real. Does he make it more stressful than it needs to be? 1,000%. Am I more willing to commit to Alvarado? Yeah, but here's the thing. Rob does that. Rob is doing that. The way he sets this up is, it might not be the 9th, but haven't we seen Alvarado in the most high leverage spots in the postseason? Yes. If there's 2 men on and you stranded runners and it's a 1-run game, a 2-run game, a tied game, he's going to the most intense spot of the game and using his most reliable reliever. When he then exits the game, who will then close? It's Craig Kimbrell, and that makes the most sense. So this is different because it was tied in the 9th, but I'm just saying, going to Alvarado, so that means flip-flop Alvarado and Craig, for example. If you went to Craig Kimbrell when Jose Alvarado got the double play ball and all that stuff, well then the 9th is different because Craig would have gave it up earlier in that position. I don't know if he gets the same exact ground ball. You went to your best option in the most high leverage, gotta have it moment in the game. You're now putting Craig in that position. Is that where he thrives? Not really. No, I think Alvarado can do an excellent job there. I don't see Craig being a clean up the inning style of dude. And that puts you in a predicament. And then, of course, when you ask Alvarado to go back out for the 8th, so he's going up, he's going down, he's going back up, the ball got smoked pretty hard. So if your response is, we'll ask Alvarado to do more and do 6 outs and do 2 innings, well, you kind of saw what that was. Started to get hit pretty hard there. It's not as easy as you think. That's all. I'm just giving you the perspective of it's a little bit more difficult than you're giving it credit, or it's there's more thinking to it. There's more thinking to it. There's not much thinking, though, when you have to go purchase your tickets for any of these World Series games, NLCS games, Flyers games, Sixers games, Eagles games. You got Sunday Night Football. You have to utilize the best ticket marketplace in the world, and that's TickPick, okay? They have the best price guarantee. Their ticket prices will beat any of the major competing marketplaces. They're so confident that they've guaranteed it. If you find the same seats elsewhere at a better price than TickPick, they'll give you 110% of the price difference in form of TickPick credits. There's upfront pricing, so no more doing the math in your head to prepare for how much extra you plan on spending on top of the listed price that are on other sites. The price you see on TickPick is the price you'll pay at checkout. Period. They have the buyer trust guarantee, and I've recently bought some tickets for some family members, and I said, I'm going to buy you 2 tickets to go to a Flyers game. I did that for my family, and I used TickPick, and it was the greatest experience of my life. It was so easy. It was so smooth. And if you use promo code BRODES, and the link is down below in the description, you have to use that link to get your tickets. You get $10 off of your purchase. So it is a no-brainer. I'm telling you, check it out. TickPick, they're the greatest. And it's funny, speaking of tickets, man, how about all the Phillies fans that weren't even going to the game out in Arizona? They're local here in Philly and in South Jersey, and they're buying tickets just so there's no fans out in Arizona scooping them up. Now, the funny part is, as much as I love that bit to death, and I do think it's hilarious, and I do think it speaks to how psycho we are in a great way, the tickets were available for a reason, because those Arizona Diamondbacks fans, they're not real. They're not real. They're not a thing. There's no such thing. There's no thing. That was what, maybe a 2 out of 10 in regards to playoff ball? Maybe a Friday night at 8 o'clock is different. Maybe it's significantly different compared to a 2 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon. I like the 5 o'clock, though. I get to record my post-game pod. It's way earlier. Not in the thick of it at 2 a.m., although I will be over the weekend now. Thanks, Phils. Jesus.
All right, bros. Y'all turning into the Braves. 1 run on a wild pitch, 3 hits. Nothing close to leaving the yard. You got to be concerned. Managers both sides made some stupid-ass pitching moves, especially the D-backs manager. He's crazy.
Look, I don't agree with what the D-backs did. You get another rotation around the batting order, though, and I guess that spooked them a bit. The kid did his job, and even more so. And the ironic part is they bring in the lefty, and the 2 guys that he walked was Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper. So you get a favorable matchup with Trey Turner. It just didn't work out for the Phils. I don't think Rob Thompson really did anything, quote, stupid. I don't think he did anything stupid. D-backs, maybe. I wouldn't have done it. In today's era of baseball, though, it makes sense. I wouldn't have done it. How the game is managed now, though, makes sense. Wouldn't have done it. I don't think the Phillies did anything stupid, though, by the way Rob managed the baseball game. And do I have to be worried now? No, I don't. Why would I? I watch this baseball team play a lot of baseball. All right, we're not the Braves where all of our hitters all of a sudden are going to hit 063. Okay? It just isn't a thing. This team will rake the next time they touch the diamond. I have a lot of confidence in that. Speaking of numbers, though, I'll end the show with this. I don't know if you guys care because it was a loss, but Ranger Suarez has an 0.94 ERA. All right? That's the lowest ERA in a pitcher's first 8 career postseason appearances since 1913. Just ahead of Sandy Koufax. You ever hear of him? Wow. When Ranger fields a ground ball and throws it to first, there's nothing cooler in the sport of baseball. You can give me a walk-off grand slam in Game 7 of a World Series. I'll take a Ranger Suarez ground ball in the 3rd inning. I don't get it. How does he look so cool? I don't know. I would do anything in the world to look that cool at something. I don't look cool at anything I do. All right, everybody, I love you to death. Don't cry, all right? Don't cry. This team is so good. They got here for a reason. They're up 2-1. We'll be all right. Love you guys. Talk to you on the next one.